So Nigel, in the wake of cloud computing, would you say organisations now have an appetite for that quick IT delivery and so green light projects much faster?
Yeah, I think what cloud has done is really be a wake-up call to anybody at the C-level understands that cloud equals speed equals agility, right? That's I think a message that resonates pretty well. The challenge for an organisation is how do you deliver that? To what extent do you want to own that capability yourself, or do you want to, maybe part outsource it? And every organisation will have their own answer to that. There isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. But the promise of cloud absolutely has allowed a business to wake up and say, you know what? I might not have to rely on my traditional IT department to do this for me anymore. I might be able to go and find a resource, potentially outside of my organisation, where I can actually have that thing happen, right? What I think IT has spent a couple of years doing is getting its arms around it, understanding it, and then turning back to the organisation and saying, you know what, we can do this cloud thing for you, and we can do it more efficiently and with greater security than what you might be considering by taking some of this technology off premise. So I think cloud has been a real wake-up call, at every aspect within the organisation. It's the IT guys and girls' responsibility to respond to that and be able to demonstrate to their organisations that they can deliver this, more effectively than taking the facility outside.
So as converged infrastructure enters an organisation, how will the IT team change, and will they become closer to business operations as a result?
Yeah, so IT is traditionally made up of different silos. So you've got a computing group, storage group, networking group. The virtualization guys came along, they were a separate group themselves. So the challenge, first of all, is just getting those four very different teams of people to work together. And converged infrastructure almost forces an organisation to do that, because if you want to get the most out of a converged infrastructure solution, you need a converged operation teams. And what that means is you need people from within each of those silos to understand all of the technology across the entire stack rather than just their single piece of it. I think what the business operations people have done traditionally is translate a business requirement into something that IT can deliver against, right? Because there's always been a language difference between the language that business operations people talk and IT people talk. So if you have a converged operations team that has a much simpler proposition to work with, its ability to respond to what business operations is asking it is, one, dramatically increased. And two, I think what business operations people will see is a greater understanding of how they deliver against what it is the business wants. So ultimately, yes, I think it will result in closer ties between the business op folks and traditional operations people in IT.
So as a result, will a converged infrastructure enable sort of computing power, networks and storage to join up so that CIOs, their teams can become data and information driven rather than operational driven?
Yeah, you hear this term big data, which is ultimately, in my opinion, it'll be made up of lots and lots of little pieces of information that you'll gather, some from inside the organisation, but most of it will come from outside. And it'll be by and large unstructured data. So it's data elements that traditional IT people aren't used to working with. What converged infrastructure and cloud says is I can bring those two worlds together, and what most of the industry is moving towards is an analytics approach to how you manage that data. Today we measure things in transactions, we will measure things in terms of analytics. And a key element in the analytics process will be time. How quickly can I process information and make a decision based on time of day, day of the week, geographic location? All of these might be factors in making a decision about what I do next, either to message a customer directly or to change a business process based on an event that's happened. So I think this world of analytics is coming. I think it won't mean anything unless you as an organisation can define what it means for you, because it isn't a one-size-fits-all answer. You have to look at what the capability is and how you'll deliver that, and then how the relevance of big data will map to your own organisation. If you do that, then yes, you will be an analytics-driven organisation in the not-too-distant future.
So there's an opportunity to become a lot more of a strategic partner in the organisation.
Oh, absolutely. I think, in some cases what the business has always been crying out for is for IT to lead it. And now you put computing power in the pockets of just about every age demographic that you can think of. you've suddenly got a world that uses computers, even though some of them don't even know they're using computers, right? They call them phones, but they're effectively computers sitting in their pocket. So the ability for somebody to interact with you in a digital way, the ability for you to serve a customer in a digital way, your CIO has to provide the infrastructure and the platform to do that. Your CMO, your Chief Marketing Officer, is the individual you'll turn to decode what I call the signal from the noise. There'll be a huge amount of data flying around out there, only bits of it will be relevant. So your marketing organization will look to how they decode it, your CIO will build out the infrastructure layer, and as a business you'll look at this and be able to react and behave in a completely different way. So your strategy, the way you think, your time to market, the way you go to market, you'll be able to have a much more strategic approach to how you do that if you're living in a cloud world and if your cloud is powered by converged infrastructure.
Nigel, thank you for your answers and thank you for discussing the opportunities that converged infrastructure offers us.
Thanks, Mark. You're welcome.